We were just chilling in front of the television, idly watching the colorful images without thinking too much of the actual content. That had always been our usual routine, to get home, not speak, and just turn off our brain cells for the evening. But on that particular night, all of our phones went off within 15 seconds of each other. We all jumped to attention in confusion, checking our phones simultaneously. All it had been was a simple message, but one carrying a crystal clear meaning. Emergency alert. This is a message to citizens of Newport. Do not leave your homes. Stay inside and do not open the door to anyone, not even your own family or friends. This is not a test. Stay inside. Turn off the lights. Our minds raced, but none of us were able to speak a single word. I looked over to my dad, who had put his glasses to make sure he read the message correctly. My mother seemed worried, her eyes filled with the brim speck of panic. "What is this?" my dad finally asked. While the message was clear, it didn't really explain the situation. It was the first and only alert we'd ever received in our small town, apart from the occasional test message. It was real. Something dangerous was on its way, and we hadn't the faintest idea of what it was. I went over to the window, only to see every one of our neighbors begin to turn off their lights. Within a couple of minutes, the entire neighborhood had turned dark, leaving us confused in a haze of ignorance. "I'm calling the police," Dad said as he dialed the number. It started to ring, and Dad put the phone on speaker. But instead of a person picking up, he just received an automated message. "We're experiencing heavy call volumes at this time. Please do not hang up. You will be redirected to one of our dispatchers shortly." "What is going on?" Mom asked. "I don't know. This is..." Dad said before trailing off. I still stood by the window watching the empty neighborhood, wondering if anyone would defy the message and go outside. In the meantime, Dad was trying to call the police again. After the third attempt, he tried to reach his co-worker instead, who lived further downtown. "Hey, David, did you get the same message as us?" Dad asked.
"Yeah, it's bizarre. Most people are staying inside though. A few went out on the streets to mess around. Fucking idiots. They seem fine, but I don't know. Wait, what's that?"
Dad waited patiently as David went silent on the other end of the line.
"I think the military's out the street, but they look odd. They're all wearing gas masks, but the masks have 3 eyes. I don't even know what kind of weapons they're carrying. Can you take a picture and send it to us? I'll try, hold on."
A few seconds passed and another beep could be heard from my dad's phone, signifying that we'd received the picture. My dad quickly opened it, but what greeted us was little more than a tangled mess of colors from a clearly corrupt photograph.
"David, the picture isn't showing up. Try again." "Yeah, it doesn't work. The cameras won't save the pictures correctly."
A loud screech shook over the line, shoving us all to the ground as we held our hands tightly over our ears. Though it came from the phone, it was an impossible sound that should have blown the speakers to smithereens in seconds. Once the sound subsided, we could still hear someone faintly breathing on the other side.
"David, what happened? They killed them all. They shot them with these weapons, just shredded them to pieces. All that's
he stuttered.
"David, you need to hide,"
Dad yelled.
But they're just standing there. It's like they're frozen in place. I don't understand. Why are they doing this? Why are they?"
His words froze in his throat.
"Oh God, they saw me. They're coming towards me. They're..."
Then the line fell dead. Dad tried to call David back up, but no one responded. Our house fell dead silent, only interrupted by the intermittent beeps produced by the calling phone. My mom wandered nervously around the house, and I just stared at the window, paranoid that something might break through the door.
"He's gone. For fuck's sake. David, pick up the damn phone,"
Dad mumbled to himself. That's when I saw them, walking down the street. They weren't moving normally, and their steps were too quick, each movement snapping into place. They were wearing strange uniforms that might have looked like a military uniform in the dark, but once they got closer, it was clearly they weren't even human. Once, one of the neighbors' doors shut open, and the Johnsons came running towards the military, thinking that they were finally safe. But no sooner they were spotted by the
marching creatures before they lifted their weapons. The same screech filled the neighborhood, almost knocking me to the ground as the air literally started to vibrate. The family screamed in agony for a moment, but within seconds, their bodies just disintegrated until all that was left was a pile of flesh that resembled minced meat. I wanted to scream, but before I got a chance, my dad put his hand over my mouth. "Do you want to die? Keep your mouth shut," he whispered. Just there. Just that mere sound briefly turned the creature's attention in our direction. But once we fell silent, they just stopped. There they stood as if they were frozen in time. For minutes, all we could do was stare at them in shock. Then one of the neighbors' automatic lights turned on, triggered by the cat returning home. The same second, the creatures all turned to the house, raising their weapons and firing. As a loud sound rang through the house, my dad grabbed me and my mom. We were taking the opportunity to flee to the basement, where we prayed we might be safe, at least for a while. We never even saw what happened to the neighbor's house. We just heard the screams of agony as they fell into pieces. Now we're just hiding down here, without food, without water. We've tried to call for help, but no one is picking up. Either everyone else is dead, or the rest of the world has fallen left in dark. About what's currently happening in our city, I don't understand. Why no one has tried to help us? Maybe they just think we're already dead. So I'm sending this a hopeless call for help. If anyone is out there, if anyone receives this, please save us. We don't have much time left.